And what we're going to do here, as you can see, the trigger finger only goes to the first knuckle. We're going to take a blade. We're going to slice this open. No, well, not open. We're going to slice the finger away. And that gives you more trigger finger. Yeah, it looks a little bit bad if you have it just pointing out. But you got to put a gun in this hand. And it works much better to get in there. And it gives you more grip on the weapon. Beautiful. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight, I'm taking a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series DJ. Now, I will admit, he wasn't my most wanted of the wave. I may like The Last Jedi, but I don't have to care for the whole movie. And that little section right in there, I'm okay with it. But just like in Empire, when I fast forward the middle part of it, I feel the same way about The Last Jedi. I don't know, maybe I need to watch it a couple more times or wait for it to come out on home release, whatever. But I'm still happy to get this, even though I would have preferred Rey or even Rex. And I already have a Rex, so what does that tell you? Looking at the package, it's your standard Star Wars Black Series packaging with the black, with the pretty picture, with the red in the background. You can see most of the figure, some of it's cut off. Not the greatest presentation of the figure itself, but I love the overall design. On the side, DJ is number 57. On the back, that drawn picture again, DJ's bio. Down here's the warnings, the unreadables. Probably says something like, do not trust this action figure on your shelf. On the other side, we have DJ's name, Canto Bight, and then the, design of DJ, the name that's usually spanning the side of it. Poor DJ, he doesn't even go up to the window. On the top, absolutely nothing. On the bottom, bunch of legalese, barcode. But I'm going to get this out of the package and see what's going on here. And there we go, all out of the package. And like I said, not the most exciting of figures, but it's interesting. How about I say that? Looking at his clothes, it definitely looks tattered and torn like the back of the package says. It looks like he's been living in a space cardboard box for the past several months. The jacket's very plain. And yet, it's very, very wrinkly, and to me, that adds a lot of detail to it. That adds a lot of interesting aspects to it. And then that is dry brushed on top of it to bring out all those little details. There's a dark base and then a lighter brown kind of just thrown all over it. It really helps bring out the I'm a dirty vagrant look to it, and if anybody can appreciate that, I can. And then the gold lined little design on the collar, it draws your eye to it because of the plainness of the rest of the costume, but it doesn't stand out. It's not like, that looks really out of place. It fits in, and it's nicely painted on top of that. You get to the clothes underneath, the shirt, the pants, not so much. They just seem like basic Star Wars gear. In fact, less than Star Wars basic gear. The shirt really seems like a Hanes t-shirt under there. And then the pants, wrinkly, the boots, kind of plain. But you get up to the head, and this is where the interesting stuff starts happening. I am 99% sure that this is the photo real tech. I can't be 100%. We've seen a couple of paint jobs this nice on some of the older figures, but for the most, I think it's there. It's the softness to it that makes me think printed on detail. The eyes are a little bit too detailed. There's some white dots on it for highlights. There's the pupil, the iris. There's just too much going on in there. And I think the biggest tell are the eyebrows. They're too soft. Usually we see these lines just painted straight on. There's no fade to them. They're just blatantly eyebrows. Here, it kind of fades in and out of the skin tone. It looks a little odd, but I think so. And then the beard, too. It's a little bit too fadey. And then the hat kind of throws me off. It's accurate, I'm pretty sure, but I guess I didn't pay much attention to it whenever he was in the movie. The holster is interesting because it's just loose on the belt. The belt is loose, but you can't get it down over the pants. It stays up over the shirt a little bit, which I wish it would come down a little, but I can't get it to come over the little ridge that is formed by the pants. But the thing that stands out at me the most is the rubberiness of the arms. And usually when I say rubbery, it's a bad thing. It flexes, it's bent, something. Here, I think it works in the figure's favor. That's good for the hand being sunk this far into the sleeve. You can't even hardly see the articulation until you get it bent. But the fact that you can bend it because of the rubberiness, the sleeve gets out of the way of the hand when you bend it. So not a bad thing at all. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's just really soft. But it gets harder as I guess the arm gets thicker up in there. It also helps with the elbow articulation. It's not quite Jaina Solo where it has a cutout for the arm to come up. So if you bend it, it's going to hit that wrinkle on the forearm and stop right about 90. But, and I don't know if this was on purpose, but you can kind of shift it, get past that wrinkle, and bring the arm to there. I know that's not a huge amount past 90, but because of the rubberiness, it allows for that. It's not quite the same on the left side. You get to 90, and if you push a little bit more, it's almost like the arm shifts back on the elbow. Again, I don't know if that's on purpose, but that's what it does to give you just a little bit more range. Going over articulation, there's a hinge in the neck that is hard to manipulate. I don't know if it's the detents. Actually, it's loosened up now that I've been playing with it more. So disregard everything I just said. But that's on a ball going up into the head. A little bit of tilt forward, bury the chin. He can look up, swivel. Hinge of swivel in the shoulder comes up to there. Whoa, wait. Okay, there's not a swivel at the bicep on that ball, but it looks like a regular ball. I almost thought when I pulled it. Is it? No, it's not. I think the upper arm is rubbery too. It's just, yeah, you can see it flex in that thin spot right there. But they did that so it would sink into the body so his arms will rest at his sides with a trench coat and look natural. Went over the elbow, 90. A little bit past if you shift back a little bit. Hinge and swivel at the wrist, swivel, hinge. The cut in the torso, not a lot of range of movement there. It can get a little bit side to side, not a lot forward, not a lot back. It works mostly as a swivel. Hinge and swivel at the hip, the holster gets up and out of the way, but for some reason it doesn't get up further than that. Back gets pretty good though. Is his ass on there? Oh, it's because they didn't hardly give him an ass back here. So, good range of movement back. Not so much front. Really far out, though. That's weird. There's a swivel at the thigh. Double knee, kind of hard to get at because of the jacket, but it does come all the way up. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward. Great range there. And then forward-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, DJ comes with two guns. One's a smaller blaster. And honestly, I think this kind of looks like a hot glue gun I used to have. But there's some nice detail on it. It's got the dark kind of metallic silver for the base, and then a lighter silver is painted on for the barrel and I guess where you load it, and then a couple squares here and there. You can put that in his hand. It's pretty nice. And he has a trigger finger, but it's not really cut like a trigger finger. It's only to the first knuckle. So you can kind of get his finger in the trigger, but he doesn't want to hold it as well as he probably could if it was cut all the way back. And then this gun also goes in the holster, but oh, it's kind of a bear to get in there. I think it goes like this. I may be doing this backwards. In fact, am I doing it backwards? I think I am. There you go. I think it goes that way. That makes more sense. And then the flap comes around and you can peg it in. So that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is it's a left-hand draw, and I may be getting the terminology wrong here, but it's slung way too low to be, or well, at least comfortably come across, grab it, and unholster it. But it does work better like that, I think. I got it in there the other way earlier, and it was just super hard to stuff it in there. And then he also comes with this kind of bigger blaster. I think of this one as, it feels Naboo to me, if that makes sense. It doesn't have the details of a lot of the Rebel and Resistance blasters like we've seen. And here you run into the same problem. Well, I'll even do the left hand. It has the trigger finger, but it's only to the first knuckle. Put it in, twist it in, and he can hold it either way. For comparison, here's DJ with the Finn in First Order officer disguise. DJ's kind of a big character. I don't know the size of the actors here, and I'm sure somebody will list it down below in the comments, but he's just wide, he's tall. It's kind of intimidating here. It really shows here with the Rose figure. Rose just looks tiny next to him. Here he is with the Last Jedi Poe. And then finally, if you're buying DJ for any kind of custom fodder or want to use him in some other property, here he is with the trusty Marvel Legends Black Panther. So at the end of the day, again, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to throw it out there. Not the most exciting character in the world to get in action figure form. You're not going to be putting him in battle scenes or stormtroopers running up on, well, I guess you could, but stormtroopers behind them. I really want to put him sitting somewhere, just lounging back, feet on a table, but I'll need a table and a chair. And his legs need to go further forward. And I'm not just saying all that from a character standpoint either. Yeah, he should just be lounging around. But also, the figure underneath the jacket, it's not the greatest action-oriented figure in the world. The knees may come all the way up, but the legs don't go all the way forward. The torso barely moves at all. It's just not meant for that kind of stuff. But I do dig what Hasbro did to the sleeves. If they're going to keep the hinge and swivel at the elbow, they need to keep working on stuff like this. And the Jaina Solo figure, where they're innovating, they're finding more range of movement in that joint, if they're stuck with that joint. But long story short, which I'm not really known for, he'll look good on the shelf with more Last Jedi figures, but I really wish Rey and Rex had been at Toys R Us when I found this. Rey's the one I'm most excited about out of this wave, and Rex just because Rex kicks ass. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.